Hi, I'm Nicole Didizian. I am the founder of Mainline Family Education. I'm a registered nurse and a mom, and I started this company 5 years ago when I noticed a need in the community and with my patients for a more personalized educational experience surrounding childbirth and early parenthood. I've built a team of 14 instructors, and we offer classes both in person as well as virtually. So we try to meet you where you are and make our content convenient to access. We also are really, really passionate about building community. So we offer new mom meetups where we bring parents together to connect with their babies to hopefully help you build your village as you grow your family.
So I love your kind of origin story. You were a registered nurse for how many years?
For, almost 12.
And you worked in labor and delivery. And where did you work?
I was downtown at Hahnemann, right out of nursing school.
Nice.
And then moved to Paoli Hospital.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then from there you saw this need. And so that's kind of like the birth of your business. Do you want to kind of tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So as a nurse, when I first started, I had the opportunity to go into my patients' rooms and sit with them and go over infant care and postpartum care and really have the time to instill some confidence a little bit of confidence, because everyone's nervous when you leave the hospital for the first time, right? Let's be honest. But I felt like I had more of that one-on-one time to ease a little bit of that anxiety. And as my nursing career progressed and we went to electronic charting, there was a shift in my ability to do that face-to-face interaction. And there was honestly less time. So patient censuses were growing. We felt like, we just didn't have the necessary time with each of our couples before they were discharged home, and I saw that anxiety growing. So I thought, gosh, there's got to be a better way to do this, because what was once oh, thank you for that information, turned into, I'm not ready to go home yet, please, or, all of my nurse friends, we would say, oh, patients always say, can we take you home with us?
Right.
Please come home. So that was really the catalyst for me stepping away from a job that I just absolutely adored. I mean, there's nothing like that privileged experience of being in the room when someone has a baby and caring for that family in the days after. But I felt like I could do more and help people more outside of the hospital setting.
It's amazing. So over the course of 5 years, you've grown this business from you to 14 instructors. What is kind of the range of the classes or workshops that you have?
Yeah, so we start really once someone finds out that they're expecting, and we offer classes that range from childbirth preparation, nutrition for pregnancy, newborn basics. We even do infant and child CPR classes, which are really popular.
Yeah.
And that's one that is an example of a class that you can really take any time. We get grandparents taking that class too.
You have photographers taking?
Have photographers.
All of our team has gone through your program.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, that's been really fun. So that one's a little more universal. And then we also have classes for after parents welcome their babies. So starting solids in cups is a really popular one. When parents are ready to start solids, it's a little daunting. You don't get a roadmap. So that's a good one. We have sleep classes for sleep support, because maybe your newborn is a great sleeper and then they hit the 4-month sleep regression and you need a little support there. We have tummy time classes, achieving milestones classes, and workshops such as partners to parents for couples, preparing for motherhood, as well as a new mom support and connection series that meets for several consecutive weeks, so that the moms and babies in that group can connect and really start to build friendships.
That's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Who would you say has been the biggest influence in your life?
In my life, I think there's two.
Yeah.
And chronologically, they're kind of bookends. So my grandparents. So I was lucky enough to have 3 of them in my life through high school and college graduation. So I really feel that I benefited from having them as that unconditional love and supportive figures as a young child that was so helpful and just made me feel loved. But then I also had a relationship with them when I became more of an adult. So those were the moments that I remember now, where I was able to hopefully absorb as much as I could of their wisdom and experience, or really just like perspective of when I would encounter a problem and talk to them about it, they would be able to kind of reframe that for me. And I continue to try to think today, what would they say if they were here now? What if I shared this with them now?
Right.
The other end of that spectrum are my 2 children, because, you know, every day, what I do every day, I always have them in mind. I want them to be proud of me. I want them to be proud of my company. I love being able to show them what it's like to be a working mom who is juggling a career and a family, especially for my daughter. I'm a girl's girl all the way. I'm a female, you know, cheerleader, and I love being able to show her that it's not easy. Like, I'll never say it's easy, but with the right support and determination and passion for what you do, it's absolutely doable.
Awesome. So you have 2 kids.
Yes.
And a business. And what does work-life balance mean to you? And how do you achieve it? If you do.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
gosh, I don't. I strive for it.
I think it's fair to say, right? Like, I think kind of like as a community, we're all like, yes, I've got this covered. Like, sometimes it's okay to be like, no, I really don't.
Oh, yeah. No, I think for me, I think of work-life balance as like a goal every day.
Yes.
And I am striving for it. I'm thinking about how can I do this better, because there is definitely room for improvement. But I think acknowledging that is the most important part of that process, right? Like, I don't have this all figured out. None of us do.
No.
And again, just sometimes you take it a day at a time, some days an hour at a time. But I do try as much as I can. I mean, I have always said this to you. My business is like my 3rd child.
Yes.
And I know we
connected
about that before.
For sure.
But one-on-one time with each child is very important.
Yes.
So I try to think about it that way. And as much as I possibly can when I am not at work and I am with my children, one-on-one time with each of them is great. And I try to maintain that focus as much as possible during those moments.
Nice. What advice do you have for the next generation?
I think as we become a more technologically driven society, I mean, it's you can't get away from it. I think intention surrounding face-to-face interaction and connection really should be thought about and even prioritized. I think, you know, I see it with my kids and their friends, and even with myself and my friends. Once we have cell phones and devices, it's very easy to isolate much more. I mean, if you look at the hours you spend on your phone scrolling versus, you know, the hours that you sit with a friend and chat, it's vastly different than it was even 10 years ago.
Yes.
So I think for the next generation, and those of us that are this generation, that maybe we need to consider, what was it like 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
Even 5.
Even 5, right?
Pre-2020.
Pre-COVID, pre-pandemic,
Pre-COVID,
right?
it was totally different.
Because technology is wonderful, but it can also be very isolating.
Yeah.
And human connection is so important and cathartic.
Yeah.
Especially for my client population, for the parents with new babies. They, you know, it's an isolating time.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, and I remember feeling that way as a new mother myself. So I think, you know, opportunities to get together, forcing yourself to, you know, make those plans, even if it's for 30 minutes, to go take a walk with a friend or a neighbor, face to face is really important.
Awesome. You work with new parents all the time. What is one tip that you would give to new parents?
I think to not allow yourself to be overwhelmed when you don't have all the answers. I think, you know, little ones change so quickly, and we change as parents, right? We grow. But because babies and young children are going through these ages and stages very fast, there's a lot of new information and important information for parents to have as they transition to each one of those special phases. And it can be so overwhelming because you can't keep up. I always felt like I could never keep up.
Right.
So knowing that it's okay not to know, but also knowing that when you don't know, and that's causing you anxiety, don't hesitate to reach out to trusted resources. There's a lot of, a lot of information out there. It's not all trustworthy.
Right.
So I think, again, we were talking a little earlier about social media and about just technology. You can Google anything, but I always say in my classes that Dr. Google didn't go to medical school or nursing school, right? So don't treat the internet as a trusted resource. Find your resources. You can find them in your community. You can find them through your physicians, through your nurses, but reach out for information that you can trust and learn from there, but you're not supposed to have all of the answers.
It's amazing.
When I was thinking about, like, what do I want people to know about me? And I think it's just, it's like, it's personal, and it's like, I don't want it to be cheesy, but I just feel so invested in the connection with families. And that's why I do what I do, because I remember feeling isolated. I remember feeling unsure. I remember feeling like there was nobody out there to give me the support that I needed. And I was a labor and delivery nurse before I became a mom. So I really will love the opportunity to connect one-on-one with each family. If I am blessed enough that through those connections I can impart a little bit of decreased anxiety or ease their mind, maybe it's just a family knowing that, hey, I have a nurse who's one phone call away.
Yes.
And having that lifeline in those moments when you feel like they're sending me home with this newborn and there's no instruction book. There's so yeah, I'm really passionate about connecting with people, connecting with families, and sharing my network of experts so that they don't need to vet on their own.
Yeah, that's important.
Every day as a new mom and dad, a lot of people tell me they feel like they're reinventing the wheel, and it's because you are, in a way, but you don't have to if you know who to call. And so I like to tell my families, let us make it easier for you.